What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another AMA with Onrie. I am your host, Onrie Kumpen, and I am getting ready for C2E2 this weekend, which is a major convention that is taking place in Chicago, and it will be at McCormick Place from August 5th to the 7th. You guys will be able to find me at booth 1178. All the information's on that ticker below. And also be on the lookout because any day now we're going to make the announcement, the official page for the Hunter and Destroyer 2 campaign, which is actually a campaign for all the issues we've done so far. And this is the first time in Eastern Shin history that we're going to be revealing variant covers and variant incentives for our book. And we've got a great a group of artists to come and contribute to this. So I've shown you guys some stuff so far, and now I'm going to get going here. So getting ready for this show. Now, I've always said this, and I will continue to say this, that C2E2 is one of the most difficult shows that I do all year. The last year that I did it, I got smoked pretty bad. It was tough. And this year, especially right now, it's one of those situations where this has to work out. I have to make this show work out in my benefit because I've got a lot riding on it right now. My business is hemorrhaging a little bit and going through some personal stuff too, which is having an effect on my psychology going into this convention. So I have to find ways to keep myself in a state of clarity, especially when going into a show that honestly I have a lot of turmoil with. And a lot of it came from the fact that stems back to the beginning of my career. The first time I did C2E2 was in 2010. That was the opening year of the show. And it was a really successful event for me. I showcased the first 2 issues of Eastern Shin at the time. And I was set up at a couple booths, and I was selling over there, and I sold out of everything, and I was really pleased, and I was able to make a lot of connections and do stuff. And then following year it was kind of the same thing, but I had some negative confrontations with people. I remember one time I pitched this guy. It was 2011, and in Japan, there had been this really horrible typhoon, and a lot of people had died. I don't know if you guys remember that happening a number of years ago. But I was pitching this person, and they got so offended with my pitch that they told me, like, "You're making a book about a guy who fucked the Japanese," because he didn't hear me say fought. He heard me say fuck. I don't know why. I don't know how I got those two words mixed up, but I think regardless, he was very emotional, and it was tough for me, and so that was an early experience, you know. But then in 2012, I did the show again, and you know, for those of you guys who know me and have seen me at conventions, I tend to stand in front of my table. The reason why I do that is not to steal anybody's thunder in any way, shape, or form. It's for the customer. It's so that I can engage with you directly and show you everything and give you options and everything. It's also easier for me to wave people down this way. When people just walk past by your booth, they're going to do that towards everyone because they're not typically looking for you. And something I learned very early on in my convention career is that when I go and do these shows, no one's there for me, and that's okay. No one's there for any particular one thing, but they're definitely not there for Eastern Shin because they don't know Eastern Shin exists. My job as a creator is to put people onto it, to introduce them to the series, and to make the experience for them something that they're going to remember. And I learned to do that through watching Stan Lee, you know, and talk about a showman. I mean, was that a guy who stole thunder from other people? No, he just commanded his audience. He just had this aura about him. And, you know, I had some issues with another creator, kind of like this rivalry that kind of came up and really didn't matter in the long run because both of us kind of found our footing doing the things that we really care about doing. And I'm still here doing what I love, and that's going to conventions. I mean, that's really what I live for is being on the convention floor. It matters so much to me, the amount of interactions that I've had with people and the lives that my book has managed to touch and improve in a lot of ways. These things really matter to me. And it's one thing to do something and make a sacrifice and say, hey, I'm going to go and work that day job so that I have enough money to take care of my family and so that I have enough money to survive and I'm not putting stress on anyone else. It's a very admirable thing and a very common thing that many people in comics have to do. That's a reality many of us have to face. And I learned how to make things work in comics. It took me a long time. Don't get me wrong. I wasn't paying myself for doing shows for years, for a long time, for about 5 or 6 years, actually. And then I just finally realized, I'm like, look, I know what I'm doing now, and it's time for me to scale up. And I naturally did it. And I've had good experiences at C2E2 as well. It's not like it's always been a bad show. In fact, 2020, that was the only show I did. And it was successful. I did really well at C2E2 that year. It was my last show, and it was kind of like I was going down swinging because I kind of knew what was looming ahead. And they had just announced what was going on with COVID, and that was kind of out there. And I felt it. I knew that there was this pause that was going to be placed on everything I was doing, and that really affected a lot of things for me. But here I am again. It's 2022, and I'm getting ready to go back out there, and I fear nothing. I'm excited about this experience and the things that I've learned as a result of COVID. That's what brought me to you guys on, different sales networks and things like that, because I discovered that that's what I wanted to do, is sell comics. That's what makes me feel alive. When I get on the show and I bust out that DJ siren, that's always, the fun thing for me, because I know that you guys are there with me, and you guys are all, this is I've created a happy place for a lot of people. And that's something I learned from Jen King, and it's always something that I took very seriously, the importance of that and making it about the fans. I think that's a very difficult thing for a lot of comic book creators, a lot of people in general, to really be able to do, is to remove themselves from the equation and to really focus on, hey, it's about the fans. It's what the fans want. And we don't necessarily know what the fans want. We just kind of have to read the room. And I could go to this show this weekend, and I can guarantee you that there are going to be a lot of people who are going to feel like Yisun Shin is not for them, and that's okay. In all honesty, the last time I did C2E2, Yisun Shin had a very off-putting performance. It was such a rough go, and it was actually my collectibles business that allowed me to recuperate. 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Otherwise, that show would have been a total bust. And this time, I made that aware to my rep, and I said, I'd like to be somewhere closer to Artist Alley, so that I have, the ability to be in an area where I can showcase my independent books. And small press over there has always been a very weak spot. It's never been really a stellar area to sell your stuff. And so, yeah, it's a tough show. It's never been what I would call easy. But I'm looking forward to this weekend. I think I'm gonna do very well. I think we're all going to do very well. All of the other creators who are going to be at this show, and we're all working together to be a part of this really cool scavenger hunt, which I'm really excited about. and I will have the list of who's participating go live. I'll make the announcement on Thursday, probably on my EXP show. But yeah, let's check the comments and see what everybody's saying here. Oh, thanks, Chris. I appreciate you saying that about Warlion. The T-shirt's going for $15. I'm going to start at the top here. This prep video is not for crybabies. Is there a C2E2 exclusive cover for Yeet? No, but we are going to be launching our first exclusive cover for Emerald City Comic Con. So that's the cover you guys saw. So it's for Hunter and Destroyer 2. And that'll be the first time we launch that book. So I have to actually get all the files over to the printer by Friday. So that's going to be exciting. But yeah, nothing there. What I'm really hoping is that Kickstarter will get back to me and approve my project. They're kind of running behind. It's been kind of slow with them. But I submitted last night, so as long as they approve everything, which I can't imagine that they won't, unless they have some reason to do so. But either way, I'm really excited because we got new stuff coming out, and it's going to be great. I can't wait to show you guys some of the variants we came up with. David Moore is in the house. And Warlines. I appreciate that, Edward. Thank you. Yes. Yeah, I like that Mac Miller quote, David Moore. I fear nothing on this odyssey of dark roads. It's tough, He claimed the tape dispenser. Yes, it is a first edition. That thing's been with me for a long time. So Chris, the t-shirts are going for $15. And we have them in all sizes from small to 5XL. They will be available. It's the same shirt you guys always see me sporting. I'm like the T-Mobile guy. I always wear the same shirt. Travis, what's up, man? Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Travis. That really means a lot. Thank you so much for that comment. Thank you. If you don't like E, you should take yoga classes with Fid Jones. I like that. The Overseer and Warline. No, actually, you know who I see playing the Overseer is B.D. Wong, who was the main villain in Mr. Robot. That's who I see as the Overseer. He is fantastic. PJ, what's up, man? What do I think of the Fantastic Four not being an origin story when it comes out? I think that's great. Chuck's in the house. Yeah, thanks, Chuck. I appreciate that. And Chuck's gonna. You don't need to, Chuck. You don't need to grab a shirt. You're part of the team, bro. You're gonna come over here on Thursday and you're gonna grab a shirt for yourself. That's on the house. Chuck Pino is our new series editor, and he went over everything with Hunter Destroyer 2, and I think we got a really stellar book on our hands. He's very excited about it, as am I. And Chuck is picking up after Dak in terms of like the editing. He's now the eyes behind my back, and he's just been so pivotal to my recovery post Dak's passing. So I really appreciate him so very much. It's not easy to hire a good editor because a lot of editors like to bring their own stigmas to everything, but Chuck leaves himself out of it and he does what's best for the project. And that is a sign of a great editor. So Chuck, I tip my hat to you, sir. I appreciate that, Travis. I hope you and your son are enjoying your time together. What's the playlist for this weekend, David Moore? What's on the playlist? I don't know. But it's great to have you guys in here. And I started doing these AMAs mainly because mainly because I just wanted to give you guys a behind the scenes look at how I prepare for conventions and what's kind of going in my head. Like, what am I thinking as I'm going through this stuff? Sometimes verbalizing it is a cathartic experience for me. And I could kind of come face to face with my own reservations or fears. And knowing that I'm not going through that alone, or that I don't have to just talk about it in my own head, that I can verbalize it to you guys makes it easier to go through the process. And I try not to, of course, come into any situation with any sort of self-doubt. It's very difficult, though. And there's a creator out there who recently did a show and had a very poor experience at the show. But when I look at his poor experience and why it was poor, it almost seemed like he was setting himself up for that. And it's a lesson to me to not do the same thing, particularly with Kickstarter, because Kickstarter is another platform I have not been very successful on, at least in my own opinion. I've funded my project, sure, but did I really make the big bucks? No, I didn't. You know, did I lead a $30,000 campaign on Kickstarter? No, I did not. But now I'm going to learn how to do that, and that's the most important thing. And I'm going to start by making sure that my backers are taken care of. And really, what I'm looking for with this campaign is, obviously we need to fund, right? So I'm not, you know, that's just the baseline. But what I would be more interested in is not whether or not this ends up being a $30,000 campaign. That doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is that I have more backers, that more people are now aware of what I'm doing. And if I can get that point, if I can get to that point where more people are now aware of Yisun Shin, that's me being able to do something different. And I'm excited about that. I'll check the comments in just a second. So now let's talk about the actual load that I'm carrying in with me for this show. It's going to be kind of modest for a couple reasons. One, I have some very pricey books I got to move. Chuck, if you're in the room, I'm bringing that Boys 9-8 with me because that book needs to sell. You know, I had to sacrifice selling it at C2E2, and now I got to make up for it. Last year, I had to sacrifice it. I had to send it off to CGC because the case cracked, and I bought it out from you. So now I have to go in and recoup that. So my main objective for the weekend is to not only sell through all of Yisun Shin, but to sell that frickin' Boys 1. That Boys book has to move at that show. That's the battleground. That's where I got it. That's where it will be sold. Maybe it's a psychological thing. Maybe it won't necessarily sell there, but I'm preparing myself to sell it over there. And sometimes doing that, telling yourself that it can be done despite what everybody else is telling you, that's when you are setting yourself up to be greater. You know, and I've had lots of people tell me, lots of people very close to me who would tell me that I wouldn't get anywhere with comics. Some people who were still close to me told me that I failed with it. And for a long time, I believed that. It's some parts of me still doubt that I'm on the right path. Am I growing, or am I just doing? You know, growth is an important thing. Do I want to be doing the same thing? Do I want to be Maverick and Top Gun 2? You know, who hasn't changed in 30 plus years? Like, nothing's really happened. He just got older. No, I don't. You know, I want to get to a point where when I'm at that age that I've achieved a great many things, as a creator, as a salesman, as a person. That's all very important to me. You know, I want to get further. I want to make progress. That to me is a very important thing, and it's essential for a couple reasons, because I wouldn't be able to do this if certain people didn't believe in me and help encourage me to do it in the first place. So the fact that I'm even here right now is a testament to that. I can't let those people down. I certainly can't let you guys down either. That's the most important thing. That's what keeps me here. That's why I feel like I'm where I'm meant to be. And working alongside people who I'm incredibly inspired by, like, you know, Kyle Northrup and Jen King. They have done so much for me over the years in terms of getting me to understand who I am and what's important to me as a person and as a comics creator. Like, when I go to a convention, what matters? What matters most? our time here is very limited, and the older you get, you kind of start to realize that it's not like you're going to get to do this forever. And I don't want to have regrets, and I certainly don't as of this point. I have absolutely no regrets of anything that ever happened, because it all happened for a reason. It all served to make me a stronger human being. Sacrificing that high-paying job, sacrificing a steady, stable income. I don't regret that. I don't care. What's money anyway? Money comes and goes, Quaalude. Yeah, no. The only point when I'll have Quasar posters on my wall is, once they make a movie. Yeah, I need to do an NSFW cover. Well, don't worry, there is a NSFW cover coming for Yisun Shin. Don't worry. There's gonna be Yisun Shin's penis hanging out. Get ready for the porn version of Yisun Shin. It's called Yipoon Shin. Well, your senses of humor actually are a breath of fresh air for me. I really appreciate that. You guys are awesome. If you can't make someone laugh, then you're a butthole. Then you're a real pendejo. If you can't make people laugh, then you need to go home and read some Gasolina. I'm going to try and see if I can find some Gasolina books. I think tomorrow, after I'm done setting up at C2E2, I'm going to go do some hunting. All right, let's see where we're at. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. I'm going to sell all these books. So we're bringing 600 copies of Warrior Defender number 1 through 3. 600 sets, 600 single issues broken up in to 4-issue sets. That's 240 sets. I think, right? Is that 240? 200. 10, 50. No, it's 150 sets, not 240. 150 sets. Sorry about that. That's not my strong suit. That's why I'm in comics. No, I'm just kidding. I know math well enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. So we got 150 sets of Warrior and Defender, number 1 through 4. And Chuck, if you're still watching, you're going to come here on Thursday and you're going to grab your comps for Yisun Shin Warrior and Defender number 1, which I'm totally going to hook you up with. Everything's in this box here. I'll put it over for you over here. The books turned out great. You did a magnificent job of booking this over and really making it a better reading experience for our readership. I really appreciate that. That is why I pay you the big bucks, my friend. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. All right. Let's see what we got here. Now we got Warrior and Defender graphic novels. I'm going to bring about 60 graphic novels with me. So that's 30 copies of Warrior and Defender and 30 copies of Fallen Avenger. I think that's a pretty solid number right there. Mainly because it's a tough show, and I got a lot going on. Like there's stuff that I got to really move. They can't sit there anymore. It's been there for a long time, like that boy's CGC. 8, 9, and 10. I'll check the comments in just a second and respond to you guys. Let me just count these trades out here. We're making pretty good progress so far. 2, 3, 4, 5. 10. All right, let's check the comments, see what's going on here. You're bringing $5. There you go. Shin and Gasolina. Hedong Shin variant. This is great. Chuck, you could sell way more than $5, bro. I've seen how you work. You're an incredible salesman. You're very good at reading customers and you understand the philosophy of what goes into doing a con. And you've helped me out tremendously with everything with the Kickstarter. Like you've been my North Star for it. And I mean that sincerely. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. It's a big load, to manage this load here, especially for a show that is tough. And a lot of people told me that Chicago show that took place earlier in July was not a good show. A lot of people had a really rough time. Now, granted, Rosemont ain't the same place as McCormick, and this tends to be a much bigger show. Particularly if you're in Artist Alley, it's always hopping. As for me, I kind of got blacklisted from Artist Alley because of my sales approach, which is fine. I belong in the retail area anyway now, so it's always where I felt more at home. I don't know why either. It's not like I got into comics thinking to myself, well, that's what I want to do. But I fell in love with the idea of it. I like dealing. And that's part of the whole process of self-discovery is figuring out what it is that you want to do that's going to make you the most happy. And that's going to allow you to excel the most too as a person. So a lot of this stuff that I'm digging up right now is unsold inventory from the last show I did, which was Capital City Comic-Con. That was a rough show. I wasn't expecting it to be what it was, and I was kind of hoping it was going to be a much bigger show with a much better turnout. I don't think I would have fared much better staying in Chicago. But glad I did it. I met Brenton Lengel, and we had some pretty good conversations, the two of us. All right, I need to just poke around here and get some more Fallen Avenger 2 books. Yeah, that was a tough book to put together, Fallen Avenger 2. That was right after Geo left the series, and he finished Fallen Avenger 1 and was like, I can't work on Yushin Shin anymore. That was a really tough thing for me because it's always been about consistency for me. I hate when books are not consistent, where you look at the cover and it's one style and then you open it up and it's something else. It's one thing when you got a variant, but it's another thing when it's like you got stick figures in the book, but a really nice cover, And I was really worried, will I be able to replace Geo? Because he was just such a crucial part to the production process. 2, 3, 4. We got 5 here, so it's 2, 4, 2, 6, 8, 9, 10. There we go. And Fallen Avenger 3. But we did. I mean, we got through it. You know, bringing L saved the series, and I think he elevated it. To be honest with you, L has been illustrating the book since issue 6, Fallen Avenger 2, and his latest issue, Hunter and Destroyer 2, turned out fantastic. I'm really pleased with the work he did on it. He worked very hard on that book. Just a second. 2, 4, 8, 10. Two, 4, 6. What's up, Jordan? Yeah, I'll get your books for you. Buy Onrie a vacuum. Yeah, it's pretty dirty in here, isn't it? Yeah, what's up, Steph? How you doing, man? I have to reach out to you, and I didn't, sadly. I'm sorry about that. I've been very just verklempt. That's really the only one. That's really the only word I have for it. Okay, 2, 4, 6, 3, 21, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Six. All right, so we're getting close to wrapping up with Fallen Avenger 4 books, or Fallen Avenger single issues. All right. Four, 5. So, Steph, what's new with you, man? How you doing? Two, 3, 4, 5. It's 15 right there. It should be 20. Boom. There we go. So 600 sets of issues 1 through 4, 200 sets of Fallen Avenger. We're going to throw on 50 copies of Hunter and Destroyer 1. I'll check the comments in just a second. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Keep in mind, too, I've been on a 4-hour stream today, so I'm still kind of like getting off of that. 6, 8, 10. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. And 10. Two, 4, 6, 8, 10. Two, 4, 6, 8, 10. All right. Get some marks in there. All right. And I got to get our marks books in here. So there's going to be 40 copies of marks. That's going to give us 100 graphic novels. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So Marx is about to sell out of its second printing. It happened pretty fast. Actually had them printed up before COVID began. I wasn't expecting it to sell out so quickly. I thought I would be stocking these books for a long time, but Marx just manages to keep selling and surpassing my expectations. I'm not sure that I'm going to keep it in print. I might have to take a breather with it just because, well, got to focus on other things now, you know, like Warline, and I've invested so much into Yisun Shin. I would like to see Marx get picked up by some publishing house. Maybe I've always had this dream of being in with Abrams. That would be cool. They're a great publisher. Charlie Koch is an awesome dude. I've met him a number of times, but I never really pitched him. I'm not sure we have that kind of relationship, you know, where I'd be like, hey, you should publish my stuff. But I guess that's, you never know unless you try, right? You know, that kind of mindset that I have is not, that's probably not the correct mindset to have. You know, you want to look at your projects as something that's going to benefit somebody, but, you know, you don't want to come in with too much ego, because I think too much ego is a dangerous thing. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, I'm going to check the comments right now. Woo! That's a lot of books. Well, yeah, what's up, Joe? So you're not coming into C2E2 at all? Yeah, you know, Jordan, Dan Doherty worked on Marx. He did the middle chapters of it. Dan Doherty's a solid dude. I give him a lot of shit, though, because he deserves it, especially at cons. I fuck with him really hard. He likes it. He takes it like a man. I do have one more book I'm going to bring with me to the show. Let me just run and get it real quick. So now let's answer some questions. How many comics do I typically bring with me to a show? I would say this is a fairly conservative count of books that I bring with me. What I'm about to do right now. And everything depends too. There's a lot of different factors here. But let's do a count. How many books am I really bringing with me right now? I will give you guys an exact number. So exact number is, we got 600 plus 60 plus 40, so that's 700 plus 200 plus 50 plus 10. So we got 960 so far. I typically try to bring somewhere around 1,000. So between this stuff and what I'm going to bring with me from the collectibles stuff, we're probably looking at about 1,000. Is this average for C2E2? Absolutely. For Emerald City in a couple weeks, I'm going to be bringing 1,500 comics with me. I'm going to do the 1,500 comic book battle there. Last year I did 1,280 books at Emerald City. I scaled back because of COVID, but now I see that COVID restrictions have been lifted, and I've seen that my performance has kind of returned to normalcy. So when I go to Emerald City Comic Con next year, that's going to be my, or this year in a couple weeks, I'm going to do the 1,500 comic book battle, and I think I can do it. So what's the 1,500 comic book battle? You're probably wondering. That's where I just load up as many comics as I can, about 1,500 books, throw them on a skid and ship them out. Once I get them, I sell them all. I make sure that by the time I leave the convention that every single book is sold at some dollar value. Well, not at some dollar value, but at the dollar value that I envision it for. And I've done it multiple times. I've done it, I think I want to say, I did it 3 times in 2019. I did it once in 2021. I did it 2 years prior to that. So I've completed it 6 times. I did do it once last year, and I didn't sell everything. That was New York Comic Con. So I got a score to settle going out there this year. And, I just always try and push the limits. I try to sell as many comics as I can. I try to make every single minute of the show count so that my sellouts don't occur on a Saturday afternoon. I want my sellout to occur Sunday at 3 p.m. or 4 p.m., right when the show starts to really die down. Because if you're selling out too soon, then you didn't bring enough books with you. And I certainly don't like playing that game. And there's no way I'm going easy on myself with this because I'm prepared to deal with a really tough crowd. So, 1,000 books, give or take. But we're close enough. And here's a pic of all the books that are coming with me out there. And I think we're going to do really well out there. Yeah, I mean, Joe, that also makes sense too, Yeah, Dirk Manning. I've known Dirk for a long time. But yeah, I mean, everything depends. I think, and guys, here's the thing too. I think everybody's circumstances are different. Like, what do we go to conventions to do? Everybody's got a different objective. For some people, it's not selling anything. Sometimes it's just making a presence, being seen. That never made sense to me. When you have such a large concentration of people who are there because they love comics and they're there to spend money, you should be using that opportunity to sell them your stuff. But that's my goals. That's my objectives. It's not necessarily what everybody else is going to do. If I bring 900 or 1,000 books or 1,200 books or 1,500 books or 2,000 books, my objective is always going to be to sell them all. Why would I want to carry it back? Or to do the best that I possibly can. Like when I went to when I went to Heroes Con back in June, I brought an insane amount of graphic novels with me. I brought 350 graphic novels with me to one show. It was not easy. Ted Sikora still has what I didn't sell, which was, I think, like 25 copies of the Fallen Avenger trade. But I got really freaking close. And I did really well. And I think we all have our own goals, and we need to do what's best for us in the moment. I'm not competing with anybody because I can't compete with anybody. Who can I possibly compete with when I go to a convention selling my own stuff? Unless they're selling the exact same item that I'm selling, there's no competition. And truth, and I say this from the bottom of my heart in all genuineness, that I want everybody to succeed in comics. Because I know how hard this field is. I've been doing this for a long time, and it's not easy. There are times when I've wanted to quit. There are times that I've, broken down and cried because I was convinced that I had failed. There are times I've injured myself and have bled for comics. It's a tough field, and it's not always rewarding. Sometimes it can be pretty downright depressing. But once you kind of see through that, and you have a plan, and you have the experience, and you develop different tactics for improving yourself, you become much better. And the way that that translates is by supporting other creators, by helping them find their measure of success. Even if it's through your own actions, like just simply going to a convention and selling books. You never know what that could inspire down the road. And I'm anything but perfect. Like, I don't think that there is such a thing as the best salesman in comics. I don't think I'm the best salesman in comics. I can tell you right now, I know dealers who can sell through 50 long boxes at a single show. Chris Rupp's, he's a fellow dealer on CBSN. That guy sells entire collections at conventions. He will bring like 50 long boxes to a convention and sell every single long box and just be done. Sell it all. Could I do that? Not with Yusum Shin, probably not. But what I can do is I can push myself. I can say, well, look, if I sold 500 books, why can't I go next year and sell 700 books? If I did 700 this year, why can't I do 900 the next year? And if I didn't think that way, then let's go back to 2010 when I only had 200 copies of Yusum Shin issues 1 and 2, compared to where I am now, where I'm bringing a way bigger load. Granted, I have other projects to offset stuff, but regardless, at the end of the day, the money's going into the same pocket, right? And it's not a competition. It's a matter of reaching new people, growing, getting to that next level, pushing myself to do that. And I learned to do that through martial arts, because martial arts is all about that. We go, and martial arts can be much more competitive, right? But not everything is always determined by certain factors. Like I remember when I was doing Taekwondo, there'd be the toughest guy in class, but he wasn't always the toughest guy in class. One day he had a shitty day and he got his ass kicked, and that happens. But the thing is he still keeps coming to practice. He still comes in, even though he's injured, even though his arm's broken, he's still training. That's when you get better. Georges St. Pierre said that. You don't get better on the days when you want to go in. You get better on the days when you don't. And you get better when you're in situations where you think like you're not going to be able to overcome it, and you push yourself and you do it anyway. That's what this show is for me. Let's check out everything. Very cool. All right. So we got this nice big load here. I'm going to throw everything in a box and then I'm closing out the AMA. That's not going to take me very long. But I do sincerely appreciate the attendance for this, because, man, boy, did I need it. And it's kind of tough right now because, my kids are off on a vacation right now, and I was supposed to go with them, but due to some unforeseen circumstances, I'm not traveling anywhere. So I decided to focus on hitting the convention scene as hard as I possibly can, and I need to be around my people right now, my supporters, because that's what kind of gets me through those hard times. You guys have gotten me through the hard times. All right, that's one box here ready to go. Close that up. All this stuff is going inside my car, and then tomorrow morning, bright and early, I'm gonna wake up, drive over to McCormick Place, drop off my stuff, set up real quick, and then go about my day and start really getting ready for C2E2. It'll be more of a production day tomorrow than anything. So no sales shows tomorrow. I'll be back on the air on Friday, Thursday. Friday, I'm definitely not going on the air. I kind of got to figure out what I'm going to do for virtuals for the crowdfunding show. I don't have any guests lined up for next week, or this week. that's another thing I kind of got to figure out and see if I can get somebody who's interested in letting me interview them about their Kickstarter and do a pre-recorded episode that I can get out there before heading out to C2E2. Oh, no. Is it hot in here or is it just me? I'm like in here and I'm like, warm! All right, so this will be box 2. Whew! Where is my pen? There it is. Make sure I know what's inside each box. The weed is here, man! You got the weed here, man! Just kidding. Drugs are bad, okay? Don't do drugs. In Russia, you don't do drugs. The drugs do you. Whew. All right, let's see what we got here. Undergraph nose are here. That sound of the books just plopping down like that, it's like shakes the entire room. Ugh. And the hope, of course, is that by the time everything's over and done with, that we're going to have an empty box of books. That's the hope. Looking forward to seeing how people are going to respond to Lycan. It should be an interesting experience. I am reading the chat. Slowly go insane. Oh God, another box. And they say there's nothing on TV anymore. Hey, you watch yourself, Tom Kelly. There really is nothing else on TV anymore but watching me pack boxes and watching me suffer in silent agony. Suffer in silence. No, I am reading the comments, you jerk. And by the way, Tom, let us know what table you're going to be at C2E2 since you're in the room. Since you're already lighting up the room with your charm here. Is Wendy coming to the show this weekend? I haven't seen her in forever. She's my buddy. She's been totally killing it with her martial arts training. I'm so impressed by her. She's just such a machine. All right, let's see. Slowly going insane while I'm packing up boxes. This is very true. You are not wrong about that, Tom. All right. But I'm not going insane because it's almost done. So the work's getting finished. And that does not make me insane. That makes me relieved. I feel relieved. Except for when something's not big enough to fit in that box. So I need another box. Huh. Now I got to find the box. I think this will do. All right. Well, no, it won't do. We'll worry about all the messes and cleaning up later, I suppose. Well, we're getting there. That's the most important thing. So what can I do? And just like that, we have a box. All right. I think I'll probably put some in here. Now I can take some of these. Too. That'll work. All right. And I'm done. Well, hopefully, in a moment I'll be done. Yep. This is it. All right. All right. And that is it. I think. Yes, that is it. We are ready to go for C2E2. That is everything all packaged up and ready to go. All right, my friends. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I know that, yes, you could have probably been doing something more fun, but you guys instead decided to come and hang out with me and ask me questions and chat, and that means a lot. So thank you very much. And I will see you guys on Thursday night on the experience, and I'm looking forward to it. I love hanging out with you guys. I love lamb. All right, guys. I will see you all later. Hi and bye. That is like that only no. Thank you, Tom. I appreciate that. No, I don't really. I don't leave my booth. I stay at my booth the entire time. I only go to the bathroom, and it's usually just to pee and go back and keep selling books. I don't do panels. I'm there selling books. I used to have someone who helped me out at conventions, and sometimes I do. I will have some help at Dragon Con, which is great. But I'm used to doing shows myself. Just got used to it. So, all right, guys. Have a good evening. I will see you all later.